Oh, hello, ladies and gentlemen. We're finally back. We're back. It's been a long time. It's been a long. What is it? Lonely, long time. I think that's the lyrics to that. I might have got that wrong. Hotfix
I've
has
got to be
returned.
honest, it don't even feel like it's gone. I'm just like, well,
Yeah, no, it definitely doesn't.
professionalism.
The last 4 weeks have been a bit of a blur, so it doesn't feel like any time has passed whatsoever. So there are those who will have missed the vlog I put out explaining what's going on, and because the people who watch that are not necessarily all the people who watch Hotfix, and vice versa. So
Basically, you went on holiday, chap, for 4
Yeah.
months to the Caribbean
yeah, I
in a
wish
5-star resort.
a 6-star resort, please.
In fact, it went to the exact opposite.
Basically, my daughter arrived 6 weeks early and 6 weeks smaller
But
than she should have been.
I'm clapping,
So-
but that's not really something to clap for.
No, so she's
It was
currently
more
in
for the
hospital,
daughter.
and that's pretty much it. That's where I'm spending 90% of my time because I know how to bloody enjoy myself in my last month of freedom. It's going to and from a hospital every day, but that's fine. It's all done. She's fine, no problem. Sorted. It's kind of. Anyway, it's Hotfix. It's our laser
Actually,
focus.
we need to talk about Eve because that's not a nickname, is it? How you give kids nicknames?
You know
don't you?
what?
Eve
Actually,
is just Eve.
I'm
Eve.
gonna have to rant about this just very quickly. We called her Eve because I
Right.
mean it's obviously no sort of spoiler. I think people have seen my name here and there. The shortened version of my name is John, Jon, because the full version is Jonathan.
Johnny Boy.
Which
Oh, I
is
thought it was
fine.
Johnny Boy. When
It-
did it change?
I was not christened Johnny Boy, and my wife's name is Catherine. They are both fairly long names, and there's multiple ways of spelling both. So we were like, we want a nice, short, concise name, simple, easy. You cannot get it wrong. I do not know how this is possible because Eve is literally just E-V-E. So far, I've heard someone call her Ev. I've heard multiple people have called her Evie. Like they've spelt it
It's
out.
more. It's more.
Like,
Evie.
Evie is longer than her actual name. It's just
No,
Eve. How
people
did they
do
get
that though,
it
don't
wrong?
they?
Oh,
But when you
God.
see something small, like you do it with dogs as well. Like you give them your voice goes stupid around them. So it would be like you'd look. No, people looked at Eve and went Eve, Evie, Evie, like that, and that's where it came from.
But then this is like doctors and midwives walking over going, and this is Evie, and it's like, no, it's not. It's not Evie. It's not Evie. It's Evie.
You know, when I was a
It's
kid, I had a major
simple.
issue with people calling me Thomas. That my name is not Thomas, it's Tom. And there was actually quite a bit of a dilemma with one of the teachers at the primary school I went to. Would consistently call me Thomas, 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 even though they were told my name's Tom, it ain't Thomas. But they'd still call it me, I don't know why. It was crazy. I remember that. I don't know. But I was a
Assert
kid that used to
dominance.
do my head in.
That's not your name anymore.
Queer Thomas. Yeah. No offense to Thomases, but my name's a 3-letter word.
Just say it's not. It's just not your name.
See, Kiri might have problems with spelling his name out on forms. I do not, because it's a 3-letter word.
The thing is, it's
neither
not even.
will Eve.
I
In
spell
fact,
it.
and your surname as well, Eve. Fucking.
I spell
Yeah,
it
actually,
correctly.
this is a good thing because the gap you get in forms is way too small to put my full name in. Like
Yeah.
I start writing, then my letters get smaller and smaller. It looks like a
Yeah,
cabbage
yeah.
wrote it.
The thing that gets me is both me and Kat have the issue where we write our names on forms, and then when we next receive correspondence from whatever we have signed up for, or from the hospital or something, they always spell it wrong. It's like, I've spelt it for you for your records. It's right there. How have you got that incorrect? But the whole plan was none of that with Eve. Can't get Eve wrong. But no, now she's Evie. Or
Did you have any other names going for this, or was it just Eve and that was it?
No, we decided on Eve, and then when we got to we did the registration thing where you have to register the fact that the kids arrived, and we sat down, and the guy was like, okay, so first name Eve, and then he goes second name, and we both just looked at each other and we were like, oh shit, yeah, she needs a second name. We hadn't thought about it. So it was Rose, because Rose was one of the contenders for first name, but I didn't like it as a first name, but it's fine as a second name. So
I think Rose is all right for a granny as a first name.
Yeah, you
See,
can't
because
have.
that's the problems with names, ain't there? Like a kid, when it's especially when they're premature, like Eve, but even when they're just normal kids, an old man's name or an old woman's name works quite well. But then when they get older, it's a bit weird. But then when they get ancient, it works again. It's like
you never meet anyone our age called Graham, do you? Or Bernard?
No.
There's no.
Yeah, or like Ronald or something
Yeah.
oh
Or
God,
Donald. Donald used to be quite a popular
Donald,
name.
yeah. What all the names have gone out of my head.
Ernest. My granddad was called Ernest.
Ernest.
That's no one has been called Ernest since about 1945, have they?
Trevor, I suppose, as well.
No,
But
I
then
don't know
that
any. I don't know any young
Trev.
Trevors
I mean,
either.
yeah, but you could call people Trev. Arthur, that's one. Like a
Yeah.
baby. Like I reckon that's a quality name for a kid. But then when it gets to about 2, and then it goes like from 2
Arthur.
to 60, Arthur doesn't really work, and then it
Yeah,
works again
Arthur's
at
the 2-year-old. I don't know. I'm
And
not.
Bob as well, like Bob. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, do your intro, Mr. Kirioth. Welcome to HotFix. It's been so long. This is
It is our laser focused video game hot topic discussion show. Which
look, I've got an XCOM t-shirt now.
you have.
Yeah, I'm a filthy sellout. I get plied with like free shit, and usually I don't care. But I don't give a shit. XCOM 2 is an amazing game. You'll find out in future. But it's extra large. I'm not extra large, so it's just hanging down off me. So if I like go like this, it kind of works. Anyway, yeah.
HotFix is also supported via Patreon, which you can find there and there. Many thanks to those of you who've stayed on the Patreon for the time that we've been absent, because it's been quite a while since the last one. That is entirely down to what's happened with me. But as you can see, we are back.
Yeah, but it's not just entirely down to that, because I did try to do it myself, and
trying to get guests for things.
We need to get guests, yeah. I know it's like a long-running joke with the thing, like, oh, we ain't get guests and whatever. There was a show ready to go, and then people pulled out within 10 minutes of the show going live. I'm just like, okay, whatever.
This is the thing.
It takes a lot of setup. It's all right with me and you doing it, because we can just fall back on it, and we know every week we can do it. What I want is the guest to be a bonus, not the whole show dependent on it. But I knew Kiri obviously had, like, a pretty good excuse. So I'm like, all right then, I'll try and do it. And I nearly got it to go, and then it just fell apart.
This is the thing. It's like we've kind of said it's like almost like a running joke as to, oh yeah, you'll get a guest. When we say it's difficult, when Stylosa is like, oh, people just pulled out at the last minute, it happens all the time. Trying to get it set up takes God knows how long, and then when you've actually got it set up, then actually following through and having it recorded with that person who you've had it set up with. It shouldn't be hard, but it is, because let's face it. So the people who are coming on are like YouTubers and streamers and so on.
Yeah,
they also have their own schedules, their own things that they do in their own podcasts.
The biggest issue with it is this, right? I asked some 27 people for the first week. I knew you were missing, but it's the way you have to ask them. You know what I mean? Like, I can't book people. Like, I can't just go, yeah, there's 5 guys coming on the show, but I'm only going to pick 2. Because then I'm putting 3 people out for a backup plan. That's like a dickhead way of doing it. So what I did was I approached people and I said, look, first come, first served. And people started getting back to me. And I was like, right, okay, you can come on it. You can come on. It's like sorted. Get to the show. Well, actually, people pulled out before that. So I pulled other people in. Then get to like about to do it, 10 minutes to go sort of thing. Everybody drops out. And it's like, well, what can I do? It's irrecoverable at that point. Irrecoverable. Anyway. We do obviously appreciate the support on HotFix, because it's what keeps the show going. So I'm going to go through the people who have pledged to us since, I believe, the last time we did this. Now, I don't think there'll be any... I mean, in fact, when was it? It's like a month, isn't it? It's like it was 15th of... I think it's about the 15th of December.
Yeah. Something
like that, I'm going to say, anyway. Anyway, let's go for it, because we had Christmas period, didn't we, and all that shit?
Yeah.
All right, then. So, right, okay. So, Pavel, thank you very much for the support. William Payne, thank you for the support. Fox Wildfire, thank you for the support. Spoonman74, thank you for the support. Torbjorn Steen Salili, thank you for the support. Your mum, thank you for the support. Butchie sent you a message, or Birchie. And Birchie says, keep up the good work, boys, but I've got one thing to ask. What the hell are you saying when you're calling each other something that sounds like blow, bro, bow? What is this word? It's been killing me for as long as I've been watching your stuff. I think he means bloke.
I think it is bloke. Yeah, it's bloke.
Oh dear.
We're saying bloke.
Just Google it. It's a friendly term of endearment for a male in the UK and Australia.
Well, I mean, Australia is more... cunt.
No, they say bloke. But true. A bit like Glasgow.
Yeah, it's true.
Now I've lost where I am. Right, Moorboot, thank you for the support. And Moorboot makes a post. He says, will you have Ronnie Pickering as a guest? No. Damien McLeese... Damien McHalesey, thank you for the support and also a message. Having finally got around to listening to my original shout out, where you were kind enough to point out that I could not spell my own name and being precious and entitled, I have upgraded my pledge just to get my name read out again. I also quite like your work, although that is only secondary. What the hell? Thank you for the support. Trevimus Prime, thank you for the support. Dominic Ferrari, thank you for the support. Fabzab, thank you for the support. Boffy Mark, thank you for the support. Ziwan Joker, thank you for the support. Gareth Hopkins, thank you for the support. No, that's nothing. I was going to read out psychological horror adventure game, but that's because somebody has emailed us with Patreon in the title saying they're trying to fund a game through Patreon. What? Anyway, and that was it. So thanks guys for the support. And if you do want to support the show, go to Hotfix. No, don't go to hotfix.com. Go to patreon.com, and it's Patreon, not patron, because it's cool. /Hotfix.
And
that supports this and podcast. So there you go.
Yeah.
And also, I do want this to be streamed, but we're just easing ourselves back into it. That's why this one isn't streamed today.
Yeah. We want to get into doing it that way. It's just at the moment I'm trying to find a schedule that works with going to the hospital every day, and because you can't really say, I won't see my daughter today. I'll just leave her there. You kind of need to go and see them and stuff.
Yeah, but bro, no, stuff Eve. She ain't gonna remember this. Just fuck this. I'm staying at home.
See, well, you're in there for months, but I wouldn't know about it because I just stayed at home. But it's fine because you don't remember that, do you? So she looks at you, she's like, I remember it all.
What?
Imagine the brain on a baby that could remember that long ago. Amazing.
It'd be like a sectoid-shaped head.
Yeah.
Massive brain. What the fuck is
this?
Old
sectoid or new sectoid? Oh, you're going to have to wait to see the new sectoid. Oh, I've seen it. But then again, I suppose if you've watched any trailer, you would have seen it.
Yeah. Wow.
Anyway, let's go on to the very first topic. And
is it a nice topic, Mr. Kirioth, to ease us back into the show? A lovely little heartwarming tale, or is it a topic of absolute wankery?
It's a tale. It's a morsel, a nice little morsel of delight. That's a barefaced lie because it's this. It's
what?
Oh, God. It's from Eurogamer.net.
Oh no!
And it is the news.
Oh no! I know what this is now. Oh no! Your favourite game developer?
Oh yes, big fan. Well, I used to be. A new game bundle wants to give Brian Henderson, the god who Peter Molyneux forgot, $10,000. Now, what they've decided to do is, you can see here, the people behind an upcoming game bundle want to give Brian Henderson, the winner of Curiosity What's Inside the Cube, $10,000. The Forgotten God game bundle goes live on the 26th of February, with 10% of revenue going to the Scot. Last year, Eurogamer told the story of Brian Henderson, the god who Peter Molyneux forgot. Molyneux's studio 22 cans, and he said 66 cans, I don't know why, promised Henderson...
Be better if it was 69 cans.
He's got more cans. Promised Henderson a percentage of revenue made from Goddess, the controversial crowd-funded God Sim, while he assumed the in-game role of God of Gods. But that role, and therefore the money, never materialised. Now a company called Bulletproof Bit is using Brian's story with his blessing, obviously, because why would he not say yes to this, to help promote GameBundle.com, which is just yet another bundle website, the same as all the others. Absolutely nothing special there from what I can see. We're not going to read the rest, because we don't need to.
Well, I mean, it's just filth everywhere. This is just a, let's use a guy. Because it's filth, and it's also clever filth, because they know that by putting this guy and giving him a percentage of the revenue, to attempt to get him his 10,000 back, is quite a good marketing thing, because it's got us to talk about it. It's got all these websites that publish articles about it, which is filthy. Yeah, it's advertising. There is a line, and I think the line is crossed here, because this is like taking advantage of a guy who, like you said, why would he say no? If I walked up to you and went, hey, Mr. Kiri, remember when you got shafted by Molyneux? And you're like, yes, I did. I said, well, I'll tell you what. I'll give you the money if you just let me plaster your face all over my shitty bundle website. And you're like, fucking do it, bruv. You're
only-
like, right, bruv, what? I've never said that in my life before.
Do it, bro. The only problem I've got with this is that on the face of it, I was like, oh, so they're trying to use a sob story to get money. You know, that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're using the guy's story, they're using his experience, and they're going to go, oh, look at this poor chap. You know, Peter Molyneux, he was going to give him something, but he never gave him anything. Oh, isn't it bad? Isn't it dreadful? But the problem with that, the big problem that I have, that I think is fair, and I don't think is particularly mean or harsh or anything, is that I don't care that this guy didn't get the money. Not in a bad way. It sounds harsh, but let's realistically look at what happened with this whole thing. Peter Molyneux said, "You've won curiosity. You may have some money. You are the god of gods. Blah blah blah, etc. etc." Okay, fine. He didn't get that. That's disappointing. That's not fair. I would argue that that's not fair. However, this was years ago. When he was interviewed about it by Eurogamer and he told his story, it was fairly evident from what he said that he did not really give a shit. He wasn't bothered. It was disappointing, but it was one of those things. And let's face it, Molyneux has not got away with it scot-free because everyone thinks he's an arsehole.
Yeah, it's ruined him. Like,
yeah.
Well, yeah, it has. It effectively, the fallout from all of this shit from Goddess has made Molyneux look a complete arsehole. I mean, everybody remembers the video where he's sitting around on the board table and the guy's vaping, and I think one of the guys there, I forget his name, but I think, is it Connor or something?
Yeah,
something like that. I don't know, but he was brought in from the community to basically fix the game, which is like a massive middle finger to people who backed Goddess, because they backed it because they wanted Molyneux to make a new Populous game.
Yeah.
But instead, he clearly had no idea and just got some guy in from the community to run it. And watching that video, I think the penny finally dropped and people were like, wow, Molyneux is a pretentious prick of the highest caliber. And
he's
apparently, he's a liar. He's self-centered. He believes his own hype extremely fucking ridiculously. And he was lucky with all like Black and White and Theme Hospital and Bullfrog and shit like that.
Didn't have the features that he claimed they would have.
No, but they still were.
They happened to be good enough games that he could get away with it, whereas this wasn't.
Fable.
Goddess wasn't.
Yeah.
And the thing is, when I say like this relies on people caring, and I personally don't care, it's because it is not up to us or anyone else to raise $10,000 to give to this perfectly normal person.
No,
the way that it's being
just
presented,
a stunt.
Yeah, it's like, oh, look at the charity case. Look at this guy. Oh, it was so sad for him. You know, he was promised money that wasn't given to him. And I'm just thinking to myself, and I've been promised money that was never given to me. Where's my fucking fundraiser?
Yeah, like me. Yeah, here, Kiri, you can have my Xbox. You buy my Xbox off me. Yeah. And it just doesn't. And then
I'm thinking
he does it again, and he does it again, chat. He does it again.
Chat. Oh, it's the first chat of the comeback.
Yeah, he does it again.
But I'm thinking,
he does it again.
I'm thinking back to when we worked together before.
Yeah,
and we did work and didn't get paid for it. Where's our fundraiser?
Yeah.
And we did work. We didn't we
always do work.
We always do work, but we didn't for that particular piece of work. We never received the payment that was due us. We got completely shut out. Where's our fundraiser? We actually did something for that. What he did was he played a game for like an hour, as everyone did. At the end of Curiosity, everyone downloaded it and started tapping away. Because
because it was shit.
Well, yeah, but the people who sat there since it was released and sat there kind of tapping away, going, "Oh, I might win," that's idiotic.
How were they tapping away? Oh, I might win. What kind of tapping's going on here?
But this guy, he's just about to finish university,
Mm.
So he's been to university. He's not homeless. He's not destitute. He's not out of a job. He has not had any sort of hardship from this. The worst thing that happened was that he had to spend some time with Peter Molyneux. Now. The guy might be an arsehole, but that is not 10 grand's worth of charity case, is it? Oh, I had to play Goddess for a bit, and then we went to the pub.
Shit enough.
It's not like I'm not going to sit there and go, well, clearly you deserve my help.
Oh yes, you remind me, because I remember in the article it was like really weird, because I think Molyneux just the guy, they went to the pub and the guy just sat there on his own, didn't he? And that Molyneux just left him or something. So the guy's like sitting there and he's like a kid at the time. He's like 18. It's like, what the hell? Dickhead.
And this is the other
Christ,
thing.
I don't like the word hate. I use it too. In fact, right, we haven't even got this loaded in as a topic. We should have. I'm gonna fucking find it. The fucking Smedley disaster show. Oh my God.
Smedleys. But yeah, I do not. I'm not trying to hate on this guy, on Brian Henderson. I'm not trying to like defame his character or make him seem like some sort of money grabbing wank or anything, because it wasn't.
No, he's not. He's just a guy. Yeah.
It wasn't principally his idea. He's just agreed to do it with this other company. But here's the thing, and here's the thing that's going to stop me, and I'd imagine quite a lot of other people from actually buying this bundle in order to support Brian Henderson. You just summed it up perfectly. He's just a guy. He is just a guy. Why does he
I've just
deserve
looked on this website.
$10,000?
Yeah, he's not going to get it.
He's just a guy.
Because I've just looked on this game bundle, and they've got 200 followers on Twitter. There are certain like metrics you can gauge on a thing's reach, and it has none. Like GameBundle.com is okay. It's a decent URL, but everybody will forget about this.
Yeah,
now.
That's all it is. And it's like, and the other thing as well is that it is not up to us or anyone else to become some sort of charity donator for a guy who was owed money by Peter Molyneux.
No,
I'm not
exactly.
I'm not donating something to essentially absolve Peter Molyneux of his responsibility of giving this guy what was promised
In
to him.
fact, this makes me
That's
not
my
want to
job.
fucking give these people money anyway.
That's not my position. That's not my job. That's not for me to do. That's not for anyone to do. People who bought Goddess and people who supported Molyneux have already paid the price of doing that. They got a shitty subpar game with no support, and then they got just shafted by the guy that they looked up to. And now it's being suggested, oh, well, if you want to help the guy who got really shafted, you can give him some of your money. I ain't giving him shit. I'm sorry, but I'm just not going to do it. Like, why would you? Why would you do that? And it's all very well him saying, oh, I'd use the money to backpack across Canada and I've just finished uni and all this and that and the other. Brilliant, but
why are they not like?
Why is it my responsibility? Why
are they not giving a percentage to Child's Play or a charity or something? That would give them a lot more positive press.
Yeah.
Than because nothing. Well, okay, the bundles do that, like Humble Bundle and whatnot. You can spread it up.
Yeah.
But if they just came out and said, "Look, we're giving 10% of all of the sales to Child's Play," they would still get coverage, but it wouldn't be this sort of because it's just a PR stunt, which is backfired on them, I think, and it's probably killed that.
Don't try and get people to donate money to a guy who's just about to finish uni just because he wants to meet Peter Molyneux. That's what kind of marketing stunt is that? This guy met a famous dude and then didn't get any money. Give us some cash. No.
But obviously, in the guy's defence, you should be compensated for having to spend time with that wanker.
Well, he should be given what he was promised anyway. I'm not going to argue against that.
I don't think there was a contract signed, was it, from what I believe? I don't think like they sat down and signed. It was just like, mate, we'll give you some money, and then it was like, mate, we ain't got no money.
The whole point of Curiosity was if you won, you became God of Gods, and you got
wasn't it a life-changing thing or some shit like that? 10 grand ain't life-changing. It might be if you live in fucking Zimbabwe, because then you could have $1 billion trillion Zimbabwe dollars. Although it really wouldn't be life-changing because it'd still be worth 10,000. So,
but it's like, he could
inflation. Ladies and gentlemen,
should absolutely be given what he's owed by Peter Molyneux. Molyneux can pay for it.
I ain't going to give him shit.
No one else should pay for it.
And you just know Molyneux's got quite a bit of cash. He must have some cash.
Oh yeah, he's got to.
And he's just faffing around. Right, let's just go into another topic then, bloke. This is the Smedley one I've linked you, right? So you can bring it up, and I'll just.
So I've switched. Switched over to desktop, and I've got the thing here that we're taking the Kickstarter.
The
down.
update. Yeah. So basically, right, the deal with this is I didn't know Smedley was going to leave Daybreak. Yeah. So you had Sony Online Entertainment. They broke away from Sony. They became Daybreak. Yeah. They make such terrible games like H1Z1, but the Beautiful Planet Side 2, which then became atrocious. My beloved EverQuest 2, which I don't even... Well, it must be a thing. It still is a thing, but... Anyway, and they do EverQuest Next. They wrecked Star Wars Galaxies. Oh, yeah, EverQuest Landmark Next. I think it's just gone. It's gone, guys. All right, so... Smedley, the other week, just was like, I've left Daybreak. This is my new studio. It's called Pixel Mage Games. And the first thing we're going to make is a game called Hero Song, which is a 2D pixel art action RPG for the PC. Made by, and the Mac it'll be made for as well, made by a team of veterans that Smedley knows. Great, okay. And it comes in with a $800,000 Kickstarter goal, right? Now, the only interesting thing to me out of all of this is Smedley likes streamers. He likes people like Co and other streamers on Twitch, and he had them like hold special streams where Smedley's on the stream with them, like our Hotfix is done, like over Skype, although not as beautiful as Hotfix, obviously.
Obviously.
And we're like, oh, this is our new game. We're announcing this. So that was kind of funky way of like promoting their game, a little bit different. Anyway, as you can see by the update, they're now taking the Kickstarter down because it's extremely clear that they're not going to make their goal. What a surprise.
Shocking. I mean, even I don't know a huge amount about this, I'll be honest, but this kind of, just the notice itself kind of says it all, really, and I've still got it up, so I'll just read a bit of it out. After looking at our funding levels and the reality that we aren't going to reach our funding goals, we decided the best thing to do is to end the Kickstarter. We sincerely appreciate all of the support we got from the backers and the Kickstarter community. This was our first Kickstarter and we made mistakes along the way. I want to acknowledge that right up front. That's very Smeders, ain't it? We put a lot of time and effort into the Kickstarter, but it's obvious
can I
missing
stop
things.
you there? It is very Smeders because So I've spoke to him quite a bit over email and stuff in the past, especially when EverQuest Next was coming out. I also spoke to him about H1Z1 on Reddit, on a public post on the H1Z1 Reddit. And he's been following this trend for a while. And lo and behold, there was whatever this hero song subreddit sell, where again, he comes in and he makes a massive post going on about what he's going to do and how he wants feedback. Now, these posts I remember before, he would look for feedback and just not use it.
Yeah.
Because all they cared about was
bloke.
making money. Yeah. Well, we all know how he operates. Make me a fucking apology video, and I might unban you from a game. You 12-year-old insecure child who's got no, life, real world experience whatsoever. You'll bow down to my authority. Yeah. So his Kickstarter's a failure. Which, what a shock! As soon as I seen the Kickstarter, I tweeted about it. Something stupid. Their website got DDoSed immediately because of Smedley's comments again. And it's like the guy brought it on himself, right? Okay, being DDoSed is shit. You don't want that. But when the guy is so publicly combative with people, I mean, any little elite hacker kid can fucking DDoS these days. They're going to DDoS you because you're a dickhead, right? The best defense about, from getting your websites blown away or whatever is not to be a dickhead. This guy doesn't understand that because he's like the brash in your face, I'm right, you're wrong guy. And well, like we said, he must have been told to step away from social media for a while, and he did, didn't he? But obviously he came back. Now he's the figurehead of this. I don't know why. I don't know if Daybreak was collapsing. I don't think Daybreak was, because I'm telling you now, right, as much as I hate to admit this, H1Z1 is actually quite a good money spinner for them. It's one of the most played games on Steam.
Yeah.
It's an abysmal game. A really abysmal game, if you want my opinion on it, because it is a festering cesspit of prepubescent Lilliputians.
It reminds me, when I saw you playing it on stream, doing the Battle Royale thing, it reminded me of why we never did anything with like the Gary's Mod game types. Why we loaded that up, and there's a video on the channel of us making stuff and messing around in it, but it was just the two of us, and we never did anything like, I think we did maybe Trouble in Terrorist Town or something once, on a server that was okay, because we finally found a server that was okay. But every other game mode and every other server is just constant spam of just people shouting down microphones, using soundboards, memes everywhere, people riding past with, like, just also massive amount of racism for some reason, which I've never quite understood. But it just struck me as that. It's like the first time I saw someone driving round, like walking round the outside of whilst you wait for the Battle Royale to start in that kind of weird, really shitty made arena. And there's just people walking round with their mics open, just playing music, screaming and shouting. Yeah. I was just like, oh, never going to touch that. That's terrible.
It's that thing of like frustrated kids just want to express themselves and they're just screaming and shouting, like, and they think it's funny. Haha, I called this guy a dickhead. He blah blah blah. But the hero song thing is... Well, this hero song thing, this is what I want to know, right? It says, so where do we go from here? Well, the good news is our investors are going to back us all the way, so we're going to get hero song done exactly when we said we would. So why have Kickstarter? If you were able to instantly get all of the backing, that implies to me that you had the backing anyway, and you just wanted some more money for nothing.
Yeah.
Again, that is weird to me. It's like,
dodgy.
Right.
The thing we've talked about this with Smedleys before, where it's like quite often when we talk about him, it sounds like we're victim blaming a bit because people have had a go at him. People have properly, done things that are not acceptable, like messing about with the graves of his parents and stuff, which he's
Yeah.
again
I
stupidly
think there was
talked
a
about
bomb threat as well on the
talked
flight
about
or
on
something.
Twitter, which you just don't do. But the difference is that when people usually talk about things like victim blaming, it's like that person was literally walking around doing nothing, and then suddenly they just got attacked, and then you've gone, oh, well, it's their fault because they walked a certain way. It's not really the same for Smedleys because he's got a severe problem where he has to get personally involved in everything, make outrageous claims, make outrageous statements, demand outrageous things to try and get people to do what he wants. And then when it all blows up and he gets really pissed about it, lashing out, and then people get angry and do things that no, they shouldn't do. You shouldn't DDoS anyone, and you shouldn't do bomb scares or any of that shit. That's idiotic. But at the same time, people in his position must know who they're talking to and what audience they're addressing and what kind of person they're having an argument with. And so if you keep going back for more and if you keep just doing it and doing it and doing it, they're going to keep doing it as well. And I think mainly, I really think the reason he stepped away and formed this company is just because they couldn't operate with him continuing to be a public figure. Like, they just couldn't do it because the entire team and the games are under attack.
How would they throw him out though? Because he was the boss. Like, maybe he got a massive severance package or something, or like he's got some, something great where he doesn't have to worry about things. Because let's be honest, for somebody like him who was in charge of a company which had guaranteed money makers, why would he leave to do something risky? Now, he either leaves because he gets paid a shitload of money and he can't be arsed with the crap anymore, yeah? So he's out. Maybe it is a thing he's always wanted to do, which I find weird because he's always been like the head of a game development studio publisher.
Yeah, that didn't seem particularly.
And how is it possible that he could get complete backing from independent financial backers that are not publishers as soon as the Kickstarter ended?
Yeah.
Which ended literally not even a week into when it began.
Do you know what? Him talking about kind of, oh, this is the dream for me. This is what I've always wanted to do. It did kind of make me laugh because it reminded me very much of that streamer Brown Man who left Achievement Hunter, where people were joking saying he's finally got to do what he loved. He's left his job playing video games so that he could go and play video games. And I thought that about, I just thought of that straight away when Smedley was like, this is what I've always wanted. And it's like, yeah, but you've already done it. That's what you were doing. You were literally, you've left the company to start your own company to do stuff that you were doing beforehand. He must have been maybe not got rid of. Like, maybe the team got together and they were like, listen, Smed, you've got to go, man. You've got to leave. We cannot handle this anymore. We're getting DDoS, we're getting death threats. There's all kinds of stuff going on. And
I don't believe they did, because I see him as too much of like a, not power mad, but very authoritative, very like, I am the boss. And I think he would only surround people around him who do as they're told, as they would just get fucked themselves.
Yeah,
I doubt, I can't really see people going up to that guy and be like, hey, get the fuck out. He'd just fire them, I suppose. I don't know. But we don't know what went on behind the scenes. But yeah, I just thought it was interesting. It kind of is maybe a bit similar to what the Molyneux connection, I guess.
Oh, yeah, the Molyneux connection. Oh! It's like an illness. You do not want the Molyneux connection. Never, don't accept the Molyneux connection. I'll tell you what, since we're on just topics of general rancidity, Sony have been...
No, why?
They've been cheeky.
Oh, yes,
Sony.
They've been cheeky beggars for a while, haven't they?
Sony, for the players. That's their slogan, isn't it, now, for the entertainment arm, for the players. They like that. Sony is trying, and failing, to trademark Let's Play. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to quickly switch over to this here trademarks thingamajig, which is what they submitted. Because I did see... let me just switch back to camera. I did see when this story first appeared, people were going, no, they're just doing it for like, it would just be for like a network or for a website or something. They're not trying to trademark Let's Plays. That would be stupid. And that made me laugh because what you had to do was actually look at it, and we're going to look at it right now, and I'm going to highlight something. So, wordmark, Let's Play. You'll be familiar with that because, well, you've seen it all over our channel and every other channel that involves games on YouTube for God knows how many years. But what does it mean? What does it mean? What is this trademark for? Well, it comes under goods and services. And it is the electronic transmission and streaming of video games via global and local computer networks, streaming of audio, visual, and audio-visual material via global and local computer networks. So what does that mean? That means they were literally attempting to trademark Let's Play, as in the when you Let's Play a game is what they were trying to trade. They were directly trying to make it so that if you did that, if you created a series, say of, I don't know, XCOM 2, for instance, or something similar to that, no, you can't do that because they've got the trademark on that. They've got the trademark on the name and the activity. Because that's what that is. That's its electronic transmission of video games via a global computer network. That is exactly what it is.
You know what this is like cheeky. This is like Apple levels of cheeky behavior. Like I wanna trademark the shape of an iPhone, but like not the exact shape.
Yeah.
You know, I wanna trademark a rectangle with rounded edges, please. And then they're like, no, because that's a bit generic. Like,
and that's.
But let's try again. These legal departments must try this on. Because if it ever gets approved, it's like, we've just made millions and millions and millions and millions and, well, billions. There is no way this would ever be approved because this is just like.
Well, the thing that
you could even extend its description to things like Netflix in a loose kind of way, and there's.
Well, yeah, and I mean, especially things like if you look at Netflix, if you look at things like Red versus Blue, for instance, Red versus Blue is on Netflix. That is made in a video game. It's made in Halo.
Yeah.
So does that mean that's not even gameplay? Well, it is gameplay, but it's not strictly a Let's Play. Would that fall under it? Because it fits the description, doesn't it? So would that not be affected as well? The thing is, it did get rejected. It got rejected by the United States Patent and Trademark Office. But the attempt was rejected because there would have been consumer confusion with something called LP Let's Play. Sorry, Let's. You got to get the Z in there, or the Z if you're American.
Gangster.
Let's Play is a trademark held by a US company that works to connect gamers together. Now, I've never heard of this before, but it exists, and they've already got that trademark LP Let's Play. However, it's better than that because that is quite a weak thing. That's not really the way you want it refused. They have also kind of added on to the fact that you can't really trademark Let's Play because it's a generic term used to describe thousands of videos of people playing games, and that was because of the MacArthur law firm, which sent a letter of protest to the United States Patent and Trademark Office, speaking out against the trademark attempt. So they cited 50 examples of how Let's Play is generic and descriptive video game streaming, and fortunately, it worked because the previous refusal was kind of piss weak, to be honest. It was not. They could have come back and tried again, but them doing this now hopefully means that actually other people won't be able to try this again because they'll just be able to go, well, look, they've already tried this and they weren't allowed it, so you're not getting it either.
So I'm not a lawyer, which is probably a good thing, but I remember seeing a program a few years back, and it was about the whole sue culture in America, and there was this law firm. I think they were in Texas. I think it was Texas they were based in. But all they did was issue. They just used to look for trademark and copyright infringements, but even like the most loose kind of infringements possible, which you wouldn't even think they were infringements. And they were responsible for taking down loads of companies. Like, we're talking medium-sized companies that might have made a few $1 million or something, and suddenly they get hit with a $20 million fucking fine or something from this law firm, and its whole business was just to do that. And I'm like, what is that? That is nothing. They're not protecting anything. They were going out just to snipe people. And I guess this is kind of.
Well, it's the same as patent trolls as well. It's another thing, isn't it? Where they'll just file patents over and on stuff that is kind of not already patented, however you want to pronounce it.
Microsoft held the patent on a calendar on a mobile device. I don't know whether they still do, But I remember reading a thing where it was crazy. Every mobile phone produced had to pay out Microsoft like 10 pence or something stupid, which obviously was like
Oh my God.
mental money because they all had calendars on.
Yeah.
So like in all this crazy shit, if you look at Apple, Apple have got like, I mean, Apple are, you know what? I'll just fucking Google it. Apple trademarks. Patents, because I know they've got crazy ones like certain ways you can touch on a screen, only Apple
Yeah.
can do that, and they end up with like multi-billion-dollar settlements with like Samsung and whatever, because it's just like,
But then,
I can't be bothered to.
But then those companies also hold patents for other stuff, so that when another company does it, they then go after them, and it's
So Apple own the patent for the layout of an Apple store, so you can't lay out your store with. Well, you can't have the layout the same as an Apple store. I mean, what the hell is that?
I don't
Apple
understand
has managed
how you
to
can
secure a
even do
court
that.
ruling from the European Court of Justice, allowing it to trademark the layout of all Apple retail stores within the European Union. The design and the layout of the stores cannot be replicated.
So does that mean every single Apple store looks exactly the same?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my
Well,
God, that's strangely
inside.
depressing. That's
That's
like
what
the
Apple are
ultimate
about, though, aren't they? Uniformity and
bland, homogenous.
anyway.
Have I been
yeah,
here before?
it's-
Oh no, it's a different store like 4 cities away, but it's exactly the same. Oh,
well, they look
that's weird.
differently, like the structure of them, but inside they're all pretty much the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I don't know. You can't trademark Let's Play, but nice try, Sony.
Nice try, my arse, idiots.
What will they
Don't
try
get-
to do next?
Don't get a nice try from me. You can fuck off, Sony. There's just no way. Why did you even
They're
do
just
it?
being cheeky
God
beggars.
It doesn't get any better.
Oh God! You can't just keep hitting me
It
with
doesn't get any
horror
better.
show tales.
It will get
fuck's
better,
sake.
but right now it doesn't get any better because Mortal Kombat X X10 or X. See, I'm saying that like I've said it wrong, but I have heard people call it Mortal Kombat X, but I don't know whether they're just being stupid or whether it is an accepted name for it. Who knows? PC players not happy at all, because according to Kotaku and multiple other websites, obviously, there's no support for PC anymore for Mortal Kombat 10 X 10 times whatever. Mortal Kombat XL was announced earlier this week. See, it is X because it's XL. Bundling the DLC with the original game, and it only referenced Xbox One and PlayStation 4. This is important because there's another DLC pack coming soon, Combat Pack 2. And Combat Pack 2 isn't a costume pack. It's 4 new characters. Triborg, which is a terrible name, but
Triborg. It's just
yeah,
like
it's
Triborg. 3 Borgs.
I am cute. It's three Picards with.
You
computer
how
chips
could
in
you
his
beat
face.
that? How could you beat that?
You
You
wouldn't
couldn't
be
even
able
beat
to.
one.
You'd have to
let alone
separate the
3.
saucer. Bo Ray Cho.
That's a shit tactic. No, that is a shit tactic. So how right? So on the Enterprise, it derives its power from the fucking warp core. So how does separating the warp core in the saucer section allow the saucer to function when it has no power generation, impulse drives,
I wondered
and the
about that
fucking
either.
warp core are in the aft section? The fucking saucer, it would not
I
be
know.
able to generate power for its phasers. What a
I
shit
wondered about
plan.
that. It was terrible. It seemed to work though, and also
It's
the
like those really early episodes of Next Generation where it's like to the battle bridge, and they like go down to the bloody special bridge in engineering, and then they quickly got rid of that. I think it was only in season 1.
terrible
shit.
the battle bridge. So yeah, there's 4 new characters. The 2 I just mentioned. Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Kotaku, whoever wrote this article, who is it? Patrick Klepek. You're an idiot. The creature from Alien, otherwise known as the alien from Alien, it's pretty fucking self-explanatory. It's not a creature, is it?
xenomorph.
Or
That's it.
xenomorph.
Yeah.
Xenomorph or alien. I mean, either of those are acceptable
Creature.
answers. Creature. It's not a mythical beast. It's a fucking alien. That's what it. That's the name of the film. The clue's right there. God damn. So there are those 4 characters. There's little bits of other stuff, and it's not available for PC. And they, when asked about it, one of the community specialists from NetherRealm Studios said Mortal Kombat XL and Combat Pack 2 will be available on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One only. No further clarification has come from Warner Brothers or NetherRealm, and series co-creator Ed Boon hasn't said anything on Twitter. We don't have any additional comment. said a Warner Brothers spokesperson. So let's just look back at recent history.
Well done, Warner Brothers. Well done.
Mortal Kombat X10 was a bit janky. It wasn't the worst thing ever on PC, because that title was still held by Batman Arkham Knight. But it was not great.
Hang on, did this come out after that or what? This came out before.
It was before, yeah, it was before, wasn't it? So it wasn't brilliant, but it also wasn't it wasn't unplayable. Like
no,
Arkham
but it was.
Knight
I remember it being a bit shit with like the matchmaking system and things
Yeah,
like that.
it had
I
its
streamed it a little
issues.
bit, and it like one thing that pissed me off is when you were in one of the game modes where it was like winner stays on, you couldn't actually view the fight that was happening. You just had to watch a black screen. But there was even
Yes, I
the thing
remember
there. There was even the box there for it to like, for the player to be there, but it just wasn't there.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, I'm expected just to sit here in like silence, waiting for it to go your go, when I could be playing fucking some absolute legend at the game who's just going to rinse me, and I'm get like, 30 seconds of action. Then I've got to wait 10 minutes.
So yeah, it wasn't great. And then there was
No,
Arkham
it
Knight,
wasn't.
which was just utterly dire.
I'm still gutted about that. I've got a sick, bad taste in my mouth about that. I still want to play that game, but now I just don't give a shit.
Too much Batmobile for me. I hated those
I
sections.
know, but I really like I've played both of those Batman games. I haven't like completed them 100%, like got all the Riddler tropes and whatever. Gone through with the stories, put decent amounts of hours into them. In fact, my Steam will probably tell me how many hours I put into them, but I know it's quite a bit.
Yeah.
And I was really looking forward to that. It was like I was looking forward to Origins, and it was just the worst thing ever. And so I just fucked that off. I mean, it wasn't made by Rocksteady, so fair enough.
Yeah.
But this one, yeah, I mean, we all know the deal. In fact, in Total Biscuit's arbitrary awards show, he used the footage from my video where I showed how bad it was. And it still is like that.
Dire. And
it still is.
I mean, that's Mortal Kombat and the Batman series are they're two staples of Warner Brothers. They're massive franchises. They're not like little shitter franchises where people are like, "Oh, I'm not sure if I care." Of course they care. It's fucking Mortal Kombat and Batman, and they messed them both up. And not only did they mess them both up, they've pulled the same kind of really crap thing for both. Because Arkham Knight, they took it down for months and worked on it for months, and then no one cared anymore. And yet, when it was re-released, it was still crap, and it still didn't work properly. And they just said, "Oh well, there's no fix for that, so sorry." And now Mortal Kombat again. It's just they've just gone, "Yeah, no, we're not supporting PC anymore," and that's the whole thing. Like you can't. Oh, it's terrible. It's just terrible. It's like I don't understand why they've got this aversion to making PC stuff work properly. Like what is the deal? Why have they failed so catastrophically twice now?
If we try and put ourselves in the place of just like Warner Brothers executives, your dad, my dad, blah blah, they're sitting there, they would just be like, okay, so we published a game on the PC platform, Batman, and it severely damaged us in a lot of ways, but mainly financially. What other assets do we have that are on PC? Well, we've got Mortal Kombat, which I guess does pretty well on the consoles because it's Mortal Kombat. But we've got it on PC. They'll know how many people are playing the game, and they'll probably think, well, it isn't worth supporting anymore. Now, that's a really shitty attitude, and this is a problem with games that have got an online component that needs to be maintained by the publisher or the developer, because there always comes a point where it's no longer feasible to keep it up because not enough people are playing it, and they'll know how many people they need to play the game. And I reckon what's happened is, say if they needed 5,000 active accounts, they're probably not at that, and so it's not worth doing it. But the problem with that is you end up shafting people who bought your game. Now they can no longer play the game. And they could play single player, but that's bad. I mean, it happens all the time with EA and their sports games. You'll see when a new FIFA comes out, it'll be, we're now discontinuing support for FIFA 08. Now, who in the right mind is playing FIFA 08 when it's FIFA 2016? But somebody would have been playing it, but now they can't play it no more. Yeah. It's like, the games Tabula Rasa, that was one. Remember that?
I do remember that. I quite liked Tabula Rasa. It wasn't great, but I quite liked it.
No, but it was a decent concept way before its time, I think. But that game, it was still being sold by Game and people like that when it had no servers. Same for that race thing. There was a race game as well, which is like an online MMO for cars.
Yeah.
Same deal there. I forget what that was called.
No, I can't
I want
remember
to say
either,
Project Cars, but I know it's not that. That's something totally different.
I can't remember what it was called. It was a long time ago though. Because
Yeah, but do you remember that though?
Yeah, because they were still selling it in discs and discs in town. Like they had a box on the shelf, like a big sort of collector's edition box, and they had to put a sticker on it that was just like no servers. It was just It was basically if you already had the game and you wanted like the last collector's edition still available on Earth, you could buy it, but you couldn't play the game. There was just nothing available for it. It was totally unsupported at that point.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it is a problem, and it happens a lot. And you see things like Game Ranger, and there are other systems as well that you can use. I guess you can use Hamachi to some extent, but Game Ranger is it provides multiplayer infrastructure for defunct games. Now, obviously, it's a lot of it's just PC games, right?
Yeah.
So it's a lot of like things like Age of Empires, although obviously that has a remake now and has Steam support and whatever. But and I'm going to say Total Annihilation, but I think that's in the same boat as well now. But there's a lot of games you can play on that which you just couldn't play because their online servers were gone. And PC does have a way around this sometimes, but not when it's systems like Mortal Kombat, where it's like an online ranking system and you have to use their servers to matchmake. It's too much hassle for somebody to come in and set up, and it is sad. I think it's sad, and it's I mean, I feel for the people who do play these games, because there will be guys out there who play Mortal Kombat fairly often on their PC, and now they're just getting shitted on. But that's just the way of it, and what can you do? You know what?
It's crap that it's the way of it, though. It's like there's got to be a better way of doing it. But then again, why are they going to waste the effort? If they know they're going to pull support anyway, it's like, oh, why make a big deal out of it when we can just blank it? Just say it's gone, and then not answer questions, because you've achieved the same thing, but with less effort. And who cares about the feedback as well? Because this is the thing, we're saying this is totally crap and it's not fair and everything, but they have no interest in those players anymore anyway, because they've got rid of support for the game. Those people are now irrelevant. You know, the people complaining and the people saying that it's not on, it's not relevant to the company anymore.
Well,
so
let me just do a quick search on Steam Spy, and I'll tell you what the figures are for. I think that's the way you do it. Yeah, steamspy.com/app/the store code number for Steam. So I've got no players in the last 2 weeks, 63,000.
that's not insignificant.
470,000 owners of the game on Steam. So this is a major wankery job by them. This isn't a game which is being.
That's not. A small,
there's not a.
It's not
no,
a small
this
audience.
is a game. Yeah.
God.
Play it. Yeah. This is. Although actually, peak concurrent players yesterday 967.
No, it's not. Then again, I don't know. I don't know what the figures are for fighting games. Like how many people you see online at a time. I don't really know.
Those don't even matter. The game sold 500,000 copies.
Yeah.
Surely that's enough to keep it supported for more than not even a year or whatever they've done.
Yeah. God, that's dire.
No, this is wankery behaviour. So disregard what I just said. After looking at these stats, this is wankery behaviour. And they're like, fuck it, we're not wasting money on this, we're going to build something else when people have already paid them to maintain this.
I think as well, from this point on, if it wasn't already obvious from Arkham Knight, think very carefully if you see a Warner Brothers game that you like the look of.
Yeah,
because, I mean, the last two sort of big names have not been great, let's face it. Although, actually, hang on a second. Wait. I've got a horrible feeling about something.
Mad Max.
Yeah, I think weren't they Warner Brothers?
I think it is,
the Mad Max game.
I knew as soon as you said it. I'm pretty sure Mad Max was published with Warner Brothers. Because it's Avalanche, ain't it? The guys with...
It is, yeah, you're right. It's Warner Brothers.
Rico, oh fuck, what's that game called?
Just Cause.
Yeah.
Because
they didn't make the latest Just Cause, they made this instead.
Yeah, it was Warner Brothers and Interactive Entertainment that published Mad Max. And actually, I really like that game. So, I don't know. It's weird. It's maybe they're not beyond hope, but
I remember
think
Shadow of Mordor as well. That was a decent game from last year. I think as well, possibly The Witcher 3 has got a physical release. which is done by Warner Brothers, but obviously they don't make the game. CD Projekt Red do,
So
and most of the sales on that are digital.
How much of this do you reckon is down to Warner Brothers, and how much of it is down to the individual studio? Then do you think?
So I would,
because it's kind of easy to hate on Warner Brothers because they're the big name. They're the big name publisher.
No, I think it is them,
the big lads. But
it's got to be because they're telling them what to do.
Shadow of Mordor and Mad Max both released in perfectly decent states, didn't they? They both
released.
Yeah. I mean, Mad Max might not have been critically acclaimed or anything, but it was a perfectly solid game with really good performance. So
I wish I could get somebody on to speak to about this because I don't understand much about this. But in my mind, I believe that the publisher is the one that is right. You need to meet these deadlines. Where's the game? The game needs to be finished because we're going to handle all of the marketing and whatever, and then we need a certain percentage return on investment. And I guess what happens is with the studios that can't make this, so like when Rocksteady fucked Batman, is they know they've fucked it, but they can't say no to the publisher because the publisher's bankrolling them basically. So they just release the game, whatever, knowing it'll be okay on consoles. Because I always remember the hilarious email I got off Warner Brothers, and it was just play the console version instead. Here's a key for the PS4 version, and I'm like, no, are you joking me? I'm a PC channel. Okay, yeah, I've got the consoles, but mate, I'm going to play it on the PC and it is abysmal. And then I went and made my video, which, yeah. But, it's not like it was a lie. The video was the video. And
yeah. It's kind of, I kind of feel like I shouldn't have just said, don't buy anything Warner Brothers. But then again, they've got a weird record at the moment. Some stuff seems to be going brilliantly, but when something goes wrong, it goes catastrophically wrong. And they just blank it. It's just like, no, it's gone.
Well, I'm pretty sure from the Steam refund thing, when that went down with Batman, Steam, if you buy the game through Steam, like a percentage goes to Steam, yeah? I forget what the percentage is, but it's fairly high. I'm sure if the product is refunded, Steam do not give you back the percentage that they've got from the sale. So you have to issue the entire refund. So what's happening is, off every sale, Warner Brothers were having to pay Steam. And that's why they brought it off the store. Because they were losing money. It's clever from Steam.
Yeah.
Because they don't lose. But
Steam wins either way, but almost as a side effect, because this is the thing. This is we were like, okay, Steam refunds absolutely brilliant, great, so good for the consumer. It is good for the consumer, but that is a side effect. That's not. It's not the aim. It's not like they're going. You know what? People
how can we make more money?
People really deserve to get refunds. No, instead it would have been. People want refunds.
If that was their thinking, they would have been here from day one.
Yeah. They worked out a way to make it work for them financially, which is why it was implemented. Totally. I'll tell you what. Let's go. Let's do something nice. We've had like an hour.
Is this a lie, bloke? Are you lying to me?
It is not a barefaced lie this time. This is the.
Why? Where does that phrase even come from?
I don't know.
I've got to Google this.
I don't know.
Faced live.
And I don't know why I've waited until I've got a beard to start saying barefaced. I don't.
The ultimate conundrum.
I don't know where that's come from.
Oh, right, here we go.
Which I ain't getting rid of, by the way. Random person who said on Twitter that they preferred without. Tough shit. Deal with it. It's my face.
You have to change your style every now and again.
I'll have hair on it if I want. You can't stop me.
I accidentally
shaved myself in my sleep. I don't think
on the wrong grade. I was like, oh crap! But I started here. I went.
I'm just gonna, I'm just gonna leave this until it gets to the point where my wife forces me to cut it. I'm not even gonna.
Yeah, that'll be what'll happen.
I'm not even gonna attempt to do anything with it. I'm just gonna leave it.
Don't it get itchy though? Sometimes.
No,
it get a little bit itchy.
I tell you what, the first 2 weeks of not shaving, lying side on a pillow was the worst thing because the hair's all short and brittle and it bends and stabs you in the face. And so I'd be lying there and he'd be like, oh, and I had to lie with my head just like that all the time. I couldn't see either way. But then when it grows out, it gets nice and soft. Anyway, what are we talking about?
Barefaced lie. Yeah, barefaced lie. A shameless falsehood. For example, Bill could tell a barefaced lie with a straight face. So that's just
where's the origin? What's the origin?
What's the origin of it?
We want bareface origins.
Bareface origins. Right, here we go. The late 1600s it came from, apparently. Most sources agree that the original expression coined in the late 1600s was actually barefaced lie. At the time, bare meant brazen or bold. Right, so it's a brazen lie. Okay. And at that time in history, almost all men sported full beards, and it was considered quite daring or even audacious for a male to be clean shaven or barefaced. Eventually, the word for hairless went from bare to bald, and so did the description from blatant to fib. Okay. Bald faced is now considered acceptable as well, since bold has the same meaning as bare originally did. Also, it can technically refer to a falsehood that appears in print or in a bold typeface. The easiest way of this maze of idioms, obviously, is to simply tell the truth at all times. Okay, so there you go.
Now you know.
Now you know.
Let's do something cheerful. Here we go. After many years, after a decade of inactivity, that's not true. Tribes Ascend is back. There's a new patch for Tribes Ascend.
Oh, this just come out. Okay.
Yeah. This is in fact it's the 28th today, isn't it? So it will be coming out in 45 minutes time, just to let you know where this was recorded. In 45 minutes time, the update for Tribes Ascend, the newest update after God knows how long, is being deployed in the UK.
It's kind of random. This is. I mean, it's not
crazy.
random. It is random because I mean, obviously they discontinued support of this, and the thing with high res is they were bouncing around games, and Tribes became their latest game. It came out. It did fairly well. Me and you played it quite a lot.
Yeah,
you know, I probably put easily over 100 hours into that game, and then it became full of hackers. It had a very weird system where you could buy private servers like off them, like you rented the servers off them, and it was all of this shit. But I think they then introduced some microtransactions for weapons that were just blatantly OP, and that broke the game then irreparably. But at the same time, they were working on a little 3D third-person MOBA called Smite.
A 3D MOBA?
Yeah, because we don't have them, do we? So I tried to say third person, but 3D came out. All right, and then I got to third person eventually.
I've done it before.
They tried to make one of those, and look at that. That's really successful. Their most successful game. And of course, before Tribes, they had Global Agenda and games like that, which they tried to make. However, this is doing really well. Smite is. So obviously, they've got a lot of money. So they're like, hey, you know what? Let's just put a bit of love back into this old game. It'll be good press for us. And it is. And it's fine. It shows that they didn't maybe just chuck that game away because they didn't like it. It was purely because we ain't got no money. And at the end of the day, it's like me and you on YouTube. If me and you really wanted to make videos on Peppa Pig Online, if that's even a thing, and we're playing it, right, and nobody's watching it, we have to think to ourselves, hey, that's not doing very well. We need to make different videos. We don't just carry on and then die.
Yeah.
So you have to make certain decisions sometimes. And obviously, High-Res, we're a smaller company.
When they drop support for Tribes Ascend, a lot of people, including us, I think, if I can remember that far back, we weren't particularly happy about it. It was like, what the hell is this about? What is going on? We may not have been playing the game quite as much by that point, but it was still like, this is a bit bullshit because people have spent money on this, and now you're just dropping support. What the hell is this? And at the time, it was like, oh, they just don't care. You know, it's like it's not making enough money. They're just banning it. They're just getting rid in favor of Smite because fuck it. When they actually broke it down and pointed out that Tribes Ascend didn't make enough money, like it didn't make enough money to sustain itself, let alone sustain the studio and the company and all the staff. It was either they abandoned Tribes Ascend and, you know, put all their time into trying a different game, which turned out to be Smite, which turned out to be successful, or the company disappeared completely. As a result of them not supporting Smite anymore, they've now not Smite. As a result of them not supporting Tribes for a bit and doing Smite instead, they're now able to come back to Tribes and start working on it again. So the way it was done was maybe not great. Like they could have done with probably being a bit more upfront a bit earlier. But the fact that they've come back and they're now working on a game that's been dormant for years, as a kind of we never stopped wanting to do this. It's just we weren't able to before. I quite like that.
Yeah, no, it shows that they do value the communities around their games, and they just were in a position where they couldn't actually support it, but now they are, and it's that does show that they are genuinely interested in the gaming communities around their games. They're not just, you know, fuck it, we're in it for the money, which maybe other companies we spoke about today are.
Yeah. In fact, you know, speaking about companies being in it for the money, or maybe not. It's hard to tell with this one. Team Fortress 2 is getting competitive. There's now a beta for a competitive Team Fortress 2 queue, which is crazy to me because Team Fortress 2, as it says in the article from PC Gamer here, it became free in 2011. So it's been a free game for like 4 or 5 years. But it was a paid game before that. You had to buy the game to get into it. It's Team Fortress 2 is it's pretty damn old at this point.
Yeah.
And yet now there's actually going to be competitive matchmaking. And it's going into beta already. Now, you could argue that it's just because they make millions from hats. But this is something that's, like, because, let's face it, Team Fortress 2 requires very little in the way of...
So, yeah, this is the thing, right? I know they have done, yeah. But look at their games now, like, well, I think what happened is Team Fortress 2 was the test bed for all this crate key opening shit, which is in is in Dota 2 and in Counter-Strike Global Offensive. They make crazy money. This, I don't know, I'm a little bit skeptical as to how much money this actually makes now, but I think it's Valve, and like we just said with High Res, Valve have got so much money, they can just do what they like. And I think they are just like, hey guys, keep it going. But also, it is kind of, like Overwatch is coming, right? And this Overwatch is this style of game, right? An arena team-based shooter game with objectives, yeah? Now, probably makes sense to push out some updates for this because you can be like, hey, our game's free. Overwatch isn't.
Yeah.
If you ask me, Overwatch is so much better. It's just unbelievable. But I would say that. But yeah, it's weird. I mean, they say, look, 494 patches since...
That's...
I mean, what?
That's a crazy amount of support. It's like you can... This is why, you know what, this and Dota 2 and Counter-Strike, it's why I'm pretty much convinced that Valve are not going to be making any more new games.
What?
Like Valve
they don't
themselves.
even need games anyway.
They don't need
Steam.
Well,
they could just fuck off their entire game development.
They don't need to make any more games. They've got Steam, but they've also got games that they can just support indefinitely. I mean, look at Dota 2. Dota 2 is now on the Source 2 engine now, isn't it?
Yeah, it just changed over. Yeah.
And all they've got to do for that is keep maintenance, maybe introduce a seasonal map every now and again, which is exactly the same as the other maps. If they felt like it, they wouldn't even have to do that if they didn't want to.
I think they just did that actually, you know, in Dota 2. I think there is a seasonal map out now, like a winter something map.
Like add the ability to put flags in for the esports teams. Oh, they've already done that as well. Sell the compendiums. It's just maintenance at this point. It's maintenance and the occasional feature, and then the occasional feature makes everyone go, holy shit, they're still supporting. Look what they've done. And everyone goes, yeah, Valve are awesome. They don't need to make anything anymore. They can just continue supporting what they've got indefinitely. Maybe push out a new Counter-Strike when Go gets long in the tooth. But apart from that, let's face it, how difficult is that going to be? Really?
It won't, no. Like, Counter-Strike Global Offensive is something you're just going to see for years and years and years because that is the main competitive FPS, and that came not out of nowhere. Obviously, it came from Counter-Strike's pedigree, but when it originally came out, it wasn't very good, and they've drastically changed that, fixed it, made it massively monetizable, and then gave it a massive competitive scene. And now it's just unstoppable. That is, I mean, like Blizzard, they hired the old boss of ESPN to head their esports division. They want Overwatch to be a major they want it to be the best FPS esport. They want Heroes of the Storm, which has got a massive prize pool this year, to be a mobile one, which I think is misguided because that game is not really that competitive. Hearthstone, again, is not really that competitive. It's got too much luck. Like, Hearthstone, to me, is like playing Warhammer 40k or 30k competitively. You can't, like, if the random games, you can't,
I'd say it's even
there
worse
could be
than
situations. Well, I mean, there could be situations in, like, let's say you've got a squad of 5 Terminators with Thunderhammers, yeah? And there is a Dreadnought with an assault cannon. And the Dreadnought happens to roll 6 6s or 5 6s for the Ren, so you need to take your Storm Shield saves. You fail them all, you're dead. There is no way the Dreadnought should beat 5 Terminators with Storm Shields and Thunderhammers, but it has just beat them. That's not a skill thing, that is a randomized luck thing. Hearthstone.
And it's even worse with Hearthstone because
it is. It's
to use the analogy that would apply to Hearthstone, even in 40k, it is luck based, but you can
granted,
still.
Mine was very specific.
You can still.
You can still have Terminators and a Dreadnought. Where have I got this from?
you can still stack the deck in your favour in 40k by running a ridiculously overpowered list. So you can do crazy alliances and really abuse, different unit types and unit combinations. Hearthstone is still that much more random, where if you just get all the cards that you don't want for the first 10 turns, and you're fucked. That's it. There's
but I'd
nothing you
argue
can do
it's
to
the same.
mitigate it.
Because if you did make a cheesy list in a tabletop game, so Warhammer, and then it relied on maybe drop pod assault first turn, but you got a load of drop pod scatter, that would be the same as getting bad card draw.
Yeah, true.
And then it's like, oh crap, then you're screwed. But yeah, my issue with Hearthstone, I think it's a great game. I played shitloads of it. It's a very good casual time waster, and it's just a nice game.
I love the tavern brawls and the adventures. I'll give it that.
You just get to the point where everyone's got the same list.
Yeah.
And you're just hoping that you get the cards before them, really, from what I see. So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, Team Fortress 2, it's not going anywhere, obviously. It doesn't owe Valve anything, so I don't think they care.
It's just going to keep
keep it out there, yeah.
Constantly, as long as they support it.
You know, I obviously I've made a lot of Overwatch videos, and they've been quite popular, and they've got millions of views and whatnot, but there's a lot of feedback I get off them. And you'll see comments like, oh, I'll just play Team Fortress 2, why am I paying for this game? And I'm thinking, yeah, but you've not played this game. Yeah, it's not the same game, and you've not played Overwatch. Overwatch is a game that you do have to actually play to understand. Like, watching videos of it is fine, but once you play it, you realise that it's a game to be played. But yeah, there's always that connection of oh, Team Fortress 2, Team Fortress. So it's still there in people's mind.
Yeah.
But I honestly never played that much of Team Fortress 2 anyway, because I was playing Counter-Strike. In fact, I used to think Team Fortress 2 was a bit shit. I tried it
a few times, but I just never got really taken with it. It never struck me as being something that I'd want to come back to over and over again. Whereas Overwatch, frankly, I've been suffering withdrawal symptoms since that went offline. I'll tell you, you know what? We've got even... Let's go more.
More happy news. No, surely not.
Good news. Platinum is making a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game, which is quality.
Well, we already knew, didn't we? But we did.
Well, no.
Oh shit! I haven't seen screenshots.
No,
of it.
It was rumored, but now it's being confirmed.
It looks like the one when I was a kid, when I had the underground layer. And I had Shredder.
Yeah. It's the proper old style. Again,
it's like
same as
Transformers.
Transformers, yeah. They're going proper.
Oh shit! I bet this will be amazing
with it. And Transformers was a fantastic game. I really enjoyed that. I was terrible at it, but I really enjoyed it. So yeah, the rumours have turned out to be absolutely true. There is going to be a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game made by Platinum, which means it's going to be ridiculously solid, because they always are. And it's going to be the proper old style, which makes me happy. It makes me incredibly happy. So happy.
I'm watching the little announcement trailer.
I tell you what, I'll put it in. I'll play.
Yeah. This is like this is what I wanted, because we spoke about this before, didn't we? Because we were like, they're making a Turtles game, but is it going to be? What's it going to be, like some sort of modern one or an old one? And hopefully it was an old one, and it clearly is. They've obviously their Transformer thing of, well, I mean, we said with the Transformer thing, it's a case of the people who were watching that when they were kids are now like 30, and they will totally buy this game on their PlayStation or their PC or whatever. So yeah, I think it's a good move, and I like it. And I mean, let's be honest, all Platinum do is just take their combat system from Bayonetta and just stick it into the game.
Yeah.
So it's like whatever. But
the thing that always
cel shaded style looks quite good for this, though.
Yeah, the thing that always impresses me though with Platinum games, and the fact that they do exactly what you just said. They just take the combat system from Bayonetta and just stick it on whatever the game is. It always works. Like, you wouldn't necessarily think that a Transformers game with a sort of Bayonetta-style combat system would work, because it's like, well, Transformers, especially the style that they went for, it being like the original old-school Transformers, it would be like, turning into a truck and ramming people in midair, that wouldn't work. And then you play it, and it's like, holy shit, I just turned into a truck in midair and rammed someone. That's awesome. And it shouldn't actually work as well as it does, but it's such a good system, and it's so enjoyable that it does work like every time. So actually implementing it with Ninja Turtles, where everyone is a ninja and they have got crazy swords and all that stuff, it's just going to be quality. They're always quality, and it's going to be more quality.
When is it out?
It is. Hang on a sec. PC. Well, it says this summer.
Okay.
I mean, that's this year though.
This year's
For it
this
to go
year
from
is
rumor to confirmed this summer is pretty good.
well. I know they delayed their scale bound thing, didn't they? Which
Yeah,
looks
which I was a bit
might be
disappointed
the
by.
reason I'll turn the Xbox on. Maybe if that comes out, but that was
Maybe.
delayed. So it's like, well, yeah. The
Poor lad,
this
he
year
just
though,
wants to help, bloke. Just wants to
he's
help.
over there. Just he's
Covered
not
in
even
dust.
plugged in. He's not actually. I cleaned him the other day. Don't know why, but yeah. This year it's only January, and there's been a lot of games already that have been really good. And
so I'm trying to keep it cheerful, but I think we're mostly out of cheer. This isn't cheerful. It's not really anything. Electronic Arts leaves E3 2016 show floor in favour of fan-orientated EA Play event, which I just thought was a bit crazy, to be honest. I don't know whether it's going to be a good idea or not. So Electronic Arts today announced major changes for its presence at E3 2016 and will stage events off-site that are more accessible to fans. In return, it won't have a booth at this year's expo. So,
right, so hang on. Right. Oh, I hurt myself. So, yeah, right. What? So I've never been to E3, but I've spoken to people who've been to E3, and they say it's crap. Like it's absolutely shit. The whole point of E3 itself is for these companies to go onto a stage and take part in Sony's thing, Microsoft's thing, or Ubisoft's thing, or like if there's another company that decides to do one. Well, EA do their own thing, don't they? And EA's thing, right? Great. Why do they need to be on the show floor? Because all we care about is the announcements that get made at the thing, yeah? And so do most people who go to these events. So for them to have an off-site thing, which I think somebody else had an off-site thing last year. Forget who it was though. Oh, it was actually it was EA because it was done with Battlefield Hardline. I'm sure it was where they were on like a building or something.
Yeah.
They kept going on about like you could play. I think at like various game stops or something. I might be getting a little bit confused, but there was something going on there. So yeah, I don't know. E3 is just a big. It's just a place where these publishers get together and do an announcements based on what they're going to have coming out this year, next year, and probably the year after.
But this is the thing. It's because of it's just a big announcement thing. Why have the fan thing anyway? Because I don't think the fans really
care.
Are the fans even there? Do I know it sounds daft, but do video game fans genuinely travel to E3? Because it's just journalists.
It's just like
and
an industry
investors
thing.
And other members of the industry. So the idea that you would go, I'm going to E3 when there's not really anything there for you because you're not the target audience seems a bit crazy.
It's kind of a bit rich for us to comment on this because we've not been to them. But like I said, just operating off what people have told me, they always say Gamescom is by far the best one, which is the one held in Germany. That has like tons of fans there because it has loads of game demos going, announcements and all kinds of stuff. I think Blizzard did a big major announcement at Gamescom for Legion, I believe, which is the first time they've done that outside of BlizzCon.
Yeah.
Which was like, okay, why are they doing that? Because it's such a massive event. Yeah, and all of that stuff. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, gaming events, like, I mean, seriously, from my point of view, I'd like to go to them to see what they're like, but I don't know whether it would be like for me as a guy who comments on games, let's say, I just get just as much information watching it on a stream as I would actually being there.
Yeah.
Like, there's no benefit to me, you know, even if I got to play a game early, I'm not going to be able to record it there unless I had some sort of setup. Although I think this year's E3 could be quite good though, because I'm expecting quite a lot of announcements from that, so we'll have to see.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know, it could. And again, I suppose if it's in a different area, maybe it's going to be treated as like a different event. It's like, yeah, it's kind of part of E3, but it's not really. It's run at the same time, so fans go to over there to see the EA stuff, and all the industry people get to hear the announcements, and they're not interested in the booth anyway because that's not what they're there for. So it's like splitting it off to make it worth them doing that kind of interaction. I don't know. Oh, you know what? Let's go on more bad news. Well, it might not be bad news. It's all speculation.
More bad news. Oh god,
it's speculation, but I'm guessing it's going to be bad. Bungie studio news. This is interesting. This is because you know Destiny, and they were supposed to be Destiny 2.
Yeah.
Destiny 2 has been pushed back significantly. Because
Right.
there was originally
What?
talk of Destiny 2 appearing this year, which is a bit
Eh?
crazy. Yeah, originally.
Hang on a minute.
Like way back when they were first talking about Destiny.
Right, okay.
But now the talk of Destiny 2 is gone. Instead, it's another expansion for just Destiny this year, allegedly, from what I saw on the subreddit when I saw this. Today, Bungie's board of directors announced that it has appointed Pete Parsons to the role of Chief Executive Officer, and that Harold Ryan, cheeky, will be stepping down from his position as studio president. His CEO,
So they
Parsons
announced
will
that
be
the game's been delayed, and then this guy's gone immediately.
Yes.
Okay.
Which is interesting. So hang on, let me... I'm pretty sure I haven't just made this up in my head. Yeah, here we go. It is. It's on Eurogamer as well. It's not just me going crazy. So Bungie President Harold Ryan has exited the company, and this is less than a week after Destiny 2 was reported to be delayed. Maybe Destiny 2 wasn't supposed to be coming out this year, but Destiny 2 has been delayed regardless. Like whenever it was going to come out, it is now not going to be come out then. It's been delayed, and now Harold Ryan, the current president of Bungie, has left. That seems interesting.
I remember there was a thing with Destiny where somebody leaked, and I was linked it over Twitter. Somebody leaked like their plan for what they were going to do.
Yes, there was. Hang on.
I've just googled for it. I mean, it's Destiny plans. I don't know, but I'm sure there was something to do with that. Yeah, Reddit rumor: future expansions leaked. Comet, Vex, Forge of Gods. You can't. Yeah, there's a link here, but you can't really see much from it. I mean, if you click that, it goes to a guy's Twitter, but you can't. You can make the names out of like Comet and whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, Destiny Episode 1, Episode 2, Comet Episode 3, Episode 4. It's kind of difficult to tell where the years are.
Well, somebody's apparently broke this down. So again, none of this makes sense because we've gone past these. So it says, the image shows a DLC pack called Comet, Plague of Darkness, coming September 2015. That never happened.
Yeah.
Next two DLC packs appear after Comet are Vex, Void Vex or something, and Forge of Gods. Although we're not sure when these are coming out. Yeah, so...
Yeah, it's already gone past that, and it looks like the structure of it's changed significantly, or
well,
at least the names
says,
of stuff.
Yeah, it says September the 9th, 2014, Destiny is released. December the 9th, the first expansion pack, The Dark Below, is released. March the 10th, 2015, expansion pack 2, House of Wolves, is released. September 2015, Destiny gets a super-sized expansion pack called Plague of Darkness. Don't remember that. Late 2015 to mid-2016, Destiny gets another expansion pack with two more expansion packs, Vex and Forge of Gods after that. And then in late 2016 or mid-2017, a sequel to Destiny is released. So this is kind of like you remember the old World of Warcraft leaked like expansion list thing, so it's not accurate. But if that was the case where they had these DLCs which should be coming out and they're not coming out because Destiny and Bungie seem to be well, Bungie, from everything I've read about them, seem to be quite a dodgy development studio, and they don't seem to it's almost like they don't know what they're doing, but they just sort of they obviously do because they've made like games which have been extremely well received and whatnot, but they don't seem to be able to. Well, you remember the shit with the story, the whole.
Yeah. Well, like the entire story changed, and that was one of those Kotaku articles that was actually really good because it was proper sort of investigative stuff, and it was like it just seems very. It's very coincidental that it's like Destiny 2's delayed. People are complaining about the lack of communication from Bungie, saying that they're not saying what's going on. There's just silence. There's also, I remember reading on the subreddit, people were complaining about the fact that they would do tests on stuff, and they would say, "What's happened with this? This isn't right. Something's changed here." And like the lead development guy has gone, "No, nothing's changed." And then like a week later, he's gone, "Oh no, actually, one of the teams informed me they did change that. They switched it out. They've changed it.
Oh dear.
But I didn't know."
Yeah.
So like the communications dire. This guy's disappeared after after Destiny 2 has been reported to be delayed. No one's communicating, and the game itself, in terms of development, it did not go smoothly because they had to do the whole story again, which meant the story was totally shit for the vanilla game. Then they had to get the Blizzard guys from Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls in to discuss how to
Yes, I
actually,
remember that. Yeah, for loot. Yeah.
make the game worth playing. I don't know. It's whatever they used to do or however they used to handle things. It kind of seems to me like Destiny is too big for them. Like they went in knowing what they were doing and thinking they knew what they were doing and thinking they could handle it, but actually the project as a whole is far bigger than anything they've done before, and they don't know how to deal with it, and they can't manage it properly because if they're not communicating, and people are changing stuff without other people knowing, and the person who's supposed to be communicating these changes to the player base don't know that the change has been made, and then the next game is being delayed, and the guy who is supposed to be heading the company is then leaving. It just seems massively disorganized, to be honest.
I read something on management a while back from some CEO. I think it was on the BBC or something, and it said, if you're going to start a company, the first 10, 15 employees you take on, if they're not the people that you want in the company with the same regardless if they can do the job, but the same mentality, that when you eventually start putting more people in, the mentality doesn't bleed through to them. So maybe this is what happened with Bungie. Maybe they were fairly small, making Halo and whatever, and then they suddenly rapidly scaled up for Destiny and just brought in loads of people without actually having any kind of just going out and hiring masses of teams and just suddenly had all of this shit in place, which doesn't communicate with each other. I like to think that Blizzard, I know they've been around for years and years and years, but they appear to have expanded slowly. And if you look at Blizzard's structure, everybody who is the head of a game was they were the original team members. When you look years back when they were working on Rock and Roll Racing and Diablo 1 and StarCraft and even Warcraft, it was the same, it's like Metzen, it's all of those guys, Dustin, what's his face from StarCraft, and all those guys all together. Now almost each one, is in charge of a game, and it must be that mentality has gone down to, I don't know. I mean, obviously that's corporate structure and God knows what. I don't know what I'm talking about, but maybe that's what happened with Destiny. And we know Destiny was a shitfest, and because Bungie has got serious problems with communication inside its own company and doesn't really know what's going on. And if what you said is true, just where they didn't even know things were being changed in the game, I mean, how could you operate like that? How could that be a thing?
When you combine
how
that
could
with
people
stuff
be working on it?
Stuff like when in that story from Kotaku talking about how the main storyline changed and stuff, and I think there were follow-up articles from other outlets. It might have been Eurogame where I read about the fact that if you wanted to change something on the map in Destiny, you had to load it overnight and then change it and then save it again, and it would take hours and hours and hours. So changing stuff in Destiny was just a pain in the arse and almost impossible to do. It just seems like they've bitten off more than they can chew, and either the person leading them, the guy who's just departed, departed. It makes it sound like he's died. The guy who's just left was not helping with that because he didn't have the right qualities of leadership, or he didn't have the right people on the team, or they're just sort of staggering along from one near disaster to another, trying to get the game to keep going. I don't know.
Well, we say near disaster. Destiny, we both enjoyed the game. You can see what that game is, and it's okay, that's an enjoyable. Whatever you guys think about it, it still is it's a good formula because it makes you want to keep coming back and playing the game, and because it's co-op and PvE primarily, you can have a good time playing with your friends, and it's fine. But Halo, I've never been a fan of Halo. But it doesn't really fucking matter because Halo is a critically acclaimed massive success. So obviously they knew what they were doing there. So I don't know. It's weird, isn't it? It's it can't just be luck. It can't be we're just stumbling on these things time and time again. They have to have some sort of competence, right?
Yeah.
But
Destiny
is marred with strange
It cannot be
stuff.
luck at this point. It just can't be. But yeah, it's a weird one. It's weird. I'll tell you what, we've only got 3 topics left, so we'll blast through them. So the first is Rise of the Tomb Raider. It's got problems, sadly.
Oh, can I just come in on this, right? Destructoid have called their article the PC Port Report, or the Port Report. This is exactly what Total Biscuit calls his video. And they've done it so they could get this out before his video. because these port report videos he makes they do quite well, yeah, because people want to see the performance of a console port to PC. But they call their article basically the same thing. Oh, they might have changed it now. Actually, no, it's PC port report, PC Rise of the Tomb Raider. Yeah, that is exactly what TV calls this video, and that's like, it just made me laugh. That did, because it's like, hang on, can't you think of your own name? But the best thing, before you even go into this, the best thing about all of this is they produced a report on the game, said it was absolutely shit without even using the fucking drivers. They didn't even use the drivers that came out on Nvidia. AMD, I'm not even including that in discussion because maybe that, that's just this shit. But Nvidia, they released a fucking driver for The Division and Tomb Raider. It even says that's what it's called.
It doesn't like there is an update on the article now, which I think I've only got because I refreshed it just before we started. It says, due to playing a pre-release build, I did not have access to NVIDIA's Game Ready drivers while writing this. I can now confirm that installing the Game Ready drivers that were released today, January 27th, did not fix the problems I discussed below. In fact, I would say it's made things worse. The stuttering is more frequent. The loading times are now 2 or 3 times longer than what I saw pre-drivers. If that's true, that's
okay.
Pretty bad.
Right, well, if that is true, but my issue is all they have done is tried to snipe a major YouTuber putting a video out with the same title, because they know there's an audience looking for it, with an article of complete shit because they didn't even have the correct drivers installed. Now, if the correct drivers are installed and it's a bag of shit...
Have they been using that name before?
I don't know, but when I seen it, PC Port Report, I seen it on Reddit, Port Report, I'm like, oh, that must be TB's thing, but it's not. It was them, and I was like, what is this? It's blatant.
I'm just looking now. They've got stuff for Port Report going back to 2013. I wonder when.
All right, then. So,
when did Total Biscuit start calling this stuff?
Maybe I've been. I don't know. Let's find out. I'll find out. I have the power of the internet here.
The earliest I can see. I'm just scanning. I'm only scanning. I'm not going through in like massive detail. But there's one here, February the 26th, 2013, PC Port Report. August 18th. 2013. I can't remember what order the months are in. I completely forgot.
Hang on. So when did they first put their article up on the website? Their first one.
I think February 2013 is the earliest one I can see. Just skimming through.
But well, March is after February.
Yeah. Yeah. So February 2013 looks to be the first one.
All right. So very close, right? I don't know, maybe it's too close to even say one has ripped each other or whatever, but that's what struck me originally. Even thinking of like, I mean, forget who originally came up with the idea. Thinking of who, that is a video that would be made on this game. Yeah. They would know that, and they would know that there is search traffic for that, so they've called it that. Now, admittedly, that is what it is. It is a port report, right? But
I really don't. I have to admit, I don't like sharing
my
names
issue
of
with
stuff.
this.
I don't like.
Yeah,
that
no, I think it's shit. My issue with this is they have intentionally tried to rush this out to get views that would be going on his video, right? Without actually and thinking, oh yeah, this game's shit. We've played the preview, the preview version, whatever. This is terrible. Yada yada yada. Oh, hang on a minute. There was actually a driver that came out, but because we've rushed this to try and beat a certain other geezer putting a video out.
Yeah,
it's fucked us, and then we're going to come back and just go, oh no, it's still shit anyway. It's like, no, you've got no credibility doing that shit.
That is something that actually I really,
fuck you, chair.
You cannot
do it.
Yeah.
Part.
Is it one of the armrests? It's like gone all janky.
It's fucked.
Yeah, my left armrest. It's knackered. It's crap. It's broken. I don't like it. Stupid chair. Anyway, what was I about to say? I've completely forgotten now. Yeah. Whenever you're looking at a game and you're doing a pre-release thing, you always have to assume that there's going to be drivers for it, especially a big title. Let's just refine it, like a AAA title. If I'm playing something and it's like 2 weeks, a month before it's due to come out, and it's got performance issues, I do not immediately think this game's a bag of shit. Why is it not running properly?
Right. So Homeworld. I was playing the press version of that. It ran like shit, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? It was just dropping frames like nothing. It would be running at 150 and just dropped to 19. I'm like, what the fuck? Add a word, and they're like, oh yeah, it's because multi-core support hasn't been put in yet, but it will be for launch. All right then. So when I made the video, because obviously I'm not going to make the video after launch, I was making it for the NDA, which is before launch, and I'm like, in the video, I'm like, okay, performance is a bit of a problem, but then I put a little annotation on. I'm like, look, performance is fixed in the launch version of the game, but just be aware. Yeah. So, but even in my video, you can see the performance was okay. But yeah, like there are things like that you have to be aware of. But there is this massive culture of you've got to be first. You've just got to go and make a video and just get in there and get the search rankings, get the whatever for that game's name, and you'll be the one who gets the views because that's all people care about.
Yeah. Although I will say, if there are massive issues with the performance of this game, I'll be pissed off because I was looking forward to this. I
don't think we got sent this. I don't think.
I like the first one. In fact, I streamed almost all of the first one. Thinking about it, it was a couple of years back because it was when I was in my old house. But I really enjoyed that game, and I would have been down to do a let's play of it because I really enjoyed the reboot. The performance is totally gash though. That'll be not just frustrating, but it'll make it unplayable as well.
It does. A
drop to like 20 FPS.
It looked graphically quite good from what I saw, but it's just like a load of set pieces. It looks like quick time event galore.
Fucking quick time event. So the other thing,
which I'm not saying is all right. Quick time events are they're an excuse as a gameplay mechanic because it means we can't be asked to actually make it so you can climb the wall. You just tap a button instead, or say you do this maneuver or whatever. But they're not inherently that bad because it's still like you can still get an experience with the game. How many
there are as well,
and where they are. Yeah.
Don't
if like Space Marine, the whole game is about murder, glorious murder, then the boss at the end is a quick time event.
That was terrible. That really pissed me off. Like legitimately pissed me off.
Yeah. It was funny where you're grabbing him and just chinning him like this in the face. Yeah, it's funny. And then he's headbutts him and it's like, but I mean, okay.
But don't make
it was a quick time event.
You could have done like one quick time event, but put it with bits of combat in between, maybe. I don't know. Just don't have it be 5 minutes of mashing space or whatever it was, just to repeatedly punch him. Don't do that. That's totally gash. Conan blow. Do you remember Conan? Age of Conan. Funcom. Yes. Age of Conan. We played that.
I remember killing Nabs. Remember, because it was just at PvP was everybody, wasn't it? You could just kill anyone.
You could just
cutting anybody. People's heads off with that one attack. I remember with a battle axe thing. You could spin around like this and just instantly cut their head off.
Yeah, it was quality, and
because it had that directional thing, didn't it? Where you
the combat was actually
arrows.
I quite enjoyed it. I quite enjoyed the combat. It was fun. The problem was it lacked content because once we got to like level 20,
there was just nothing.
There was nothing. Yeah. Like the start of the game was polished as all hell. It was amazing. It was oh my god, this is brilliant. This is like the MMO of the future. What the fuck is this?
Remember that? Wait, because you had that like naked woman strung up, didn't you, on the beach?
She's got clothes on now.
Hey,
they've redone it. She's got clothes on. It's bullshit. She's naked when we played it.
Yeah, back
and it was better for it as well.
Yeah,
that was.
It was 18 rated though. That game. That's the whole point of it. It was gory and everything.
Gory and. Well,
but it ran out of content. So
it ran out of content. It was just like you've reached level 20. There's nothing to do now. What's the level cap? 60. Okay, I'll just grind 40 levels out with no quests. Great. We stopped playing that. But Conan is back. It's back. And in fact, here's a little trailer. Conan Exiles announcement trailer. So as you can see, it's fun. There's a skull.
Does anyone care enough about the Conan IP to be like, wow, a Conan game?
No. Who cares? Who really cares at this point? Let's be honest. I mean, did you see that Conan film that came out a few years ago? That was not good.
Yeah, with Khal Drogo in it.
Yeah. That was not a good film. So, for some reason, Funcom have decided to attempt to bring back Conan. And as you can see in the description down the bottom, get ready to experience an open-world survival game set in the brutal lands of Conan the Barbarian. Early access starts summer 2016. So for some reason, Funcom is doing a new Conan game that is an open-world survival game in early access, much like every other open-world survival game on Steam, because it's, well, early access. Why? Who asked for this? Who wanted this? Who was like, oh man, I miss Conan. Do you know what we should do? We should make Conan again, but make it like Ark or Minecraft. Because that does, people love that shit. Open world is open world survival. It's the buzzword of the moment. Everything is open world survival.
Conan Right, okay. I know Conan's got quite a bit of like lore and all this shit, and there's stories behind it and whatever. But to me, the
I
idiot,
don't care. I just want to
mate,
kill people.
yeah, to me, the idiot, Conan is Arnie running round, fucking getting captured as a kid, not agreeing with it, and then fucking killing everybody with a massive axe. And there's like crazy
Yeah.
witch bitches who he just kills as well. And that's what he does, right? And that's what Conan is. Conan is not a game, but it's not a world to me where you go around and build a little hut, make a little fire, get some food and cook it. No, you just murder. You just fucking murder. You're a barbarian. Right?
Yeah.
I played the barbarian in Conan, like about 99% of the entire population of the game did. Because who else would you play? You just want to smash people
They
in
were
with a
like
massive
mages
weapon.
and archers, and it was like, fucking mage.
That.
A mage. I can have a giant sword and cut your leg off. Fucking mage. I haven't played a mage. But I mean, an open world survival Conan game, just no. No. It's just,
No,
I don't understand
listen,
why you
I
even
can't
do it.
Fuck off, chair. I can't handle open world survival games. I can't handle survival games like that. It's the same story with all of them. Early access, run like shit, half the game's implemented, make millions and millions in sales, then carry on with trickle updates until forever and a day because I've already made a shitload of money. Ark did the same thing. It depresses me when I see on Twitch loads of people streaming it, thousands and thousands of viewers, and I'm just like, why? Why are you? This is just garbage. Like it's shit. Oh god, it rages me like nothing else. It really does. It really does. I'm just like, and you know what? Actually, this rage. I told you we're gonna talk about fucking rage. The other week, right? There's an article in the BBC about a guy who there was this 21-year-old lad who groomed a kid, brought him to his house, and then stabbed him to death. Yeah, a 15-year-old kid he killed. Right. However, in the BBC article, it says I forget the kid's name. He was known for playing games like Call of Duty and Battlefield, yeah? However, as the article goes into depth and tells you about, all of this grooming took place on a Minecraft server. Yet it doesn't say that at the start of the article. It's Battlefield and Call of Duty. And I was quite shocked because usually the BBC don't do that. That'd be something the Daily Fail would do or something. It'd be Call of Duty Killer or something. But no. And read the story. The kid was playing on a Minecraft server that this 21-year-old lad was hosting. And obviously he was helping him out, you know, because with admin powers, you can give them stuff, can't you? Have some diamonds. And befriended the geezer like that and was telling the kid about ways he could get into IT when he got older. And eventually at some point got to the thing of like, oh, just come over to my house and I'll show you something. And what he showed him was a kitchen knife 20 times to the chest or something because he was deranged and he's gone to prison. But what annoyed me is the article, again, made it appear like it was because he was playing a murdering game.
It's the implication
that's where it all came from.
The
but it was
Minecraft
Minecraft.
and it's like
Yes,
it's
it
not
was
the
Minecraft
case.
though. No, it was Minecraft, and I'm like, yeah. Why wasn't it Minecraft Killer or something like that as the title?
Doesn't sound as good, does it?
Because all the kids play Minecraft, don't they?
Yeah, terrible. I say,
He's banned from playing Minecraft, bloke. I'm just throwing it out.
She's never going to play Minecraft. I'm not going to let her play Minecraft. She can play
Yeah,
Space Marine.
Imagine it like when she can understand it in like 10 years' time. Right, we're gonna play Space Marine. What's this shit? Like everyone will have like fucking VR headsets. There'll probably be like oh my god, there'll be like a chainsaw like controller.
Attached. Oh yes.
You're just like going crazy.
She's going to be playing. By the time she's 10, she's going to be playing Rocksmith 2026 and Space Marine and Dawn of War. That's what
Daddy, look at me, Daddy. Yeah.
she'll probably be better than me. Let's do the very last thing. I'm not going to bother putting it on the thing because it's
what he's trying to say. Not professional, bloke.
it's a very short thing. There's a huge wall of text about it, but there's a very helpful too long didn't read on Reddit, which is that Rift, once praised as the example of how to make a fair free-to-play MMORPG, has now introduced new unlockable a new unlockable item slot only available to the cash shop alongside an item that is also only unlockable in the cash shop to put in the item slot. So before, everything was free, everything was fair, everything was nice. You could get everything you wanted in game. You don't have to pay a penny. And now there's an item slot that you have to pay for, and an item that you have to pay for to put in the slot that you just paid for with cash. There is no other way of getting it. That's pretty poor. That's a really shit way to. Why would you suddenly do that?
Yeah, because I remember Rift. Like I remember when Rift launched and it was just a normal subscription MMO, and everyone was like, "Why the hell would you play Rift?" But it was actually a pretty fucking good game, Rift. In fact, the very first channel video on the Unit Lost channel is a Rift video of me just looking at the character creator because I'm like I'm like just a test, and I make a shit video of like, yeah, I'm just gonna do the first mission. It was terrible. Go back and watch it. It's comedy. In fact, comment on it so it spams me on the fucking YouTube comments page. It's funny, and it's like, okay. But anyway, from the people who played it, it was actually a solid game. It had a very good raid scene. The raids were very good. The gameplay was fine, and it was it was a fine game. But then it's like Tryon Worlds have just gone to shit. Like I mean, Arcade. I played a bit of Arcade. I didn't like Arcade, but apparently that is an absolute disaster, right? With the way they've managed that. I remember Defiance. That was abysmal. That was really bad.
Defiance
that was supposed to be, that was supposed to be a console MMO shooter. Oh man, it was bad. That was really bad. I remember they had a game coming out which was like Command and Conquer, but multiplayer, like MMO style Command and Conquer. It was going to be, but they cancelled that.
What was that called? I vaguely remember. I can't remember what it was called.
I played the beta of it. I'm sure I did. Because the way it worked is you had different generals, and you could each specialize into a different thing. So you could be like the air general, or like the air attack general, or air defense general, and you had to work with the other guys. It was kind of funky. Like, it wasn't amazing, but yeah, they got rid of that. I forget what it was called, but it's They seem like they're a company. Like, I honestly, I find it difficult to work out how these companies exist with like very mediocre games. Like, how have they got enough of a following to keep their games going when the games are basically mediocre? Okay, Rift started well and then went downhill, but all of their other games, like, they're just shit. And it's like, well, what are you doing? Like, what is going on there? Why is the? In fact, surviving? You know what? Okay, I'm going to pull these things up. Oh my god, not that webcam focus. There was an article I seen from a financial analyst type fellow on how much money MMOs would make, subscription MMOs. I think they were generally focused towards Korea and Asia and whatnot. Lineage 2 was the top from NC Soft. It was like 800 million or something it was going to make in a year. But I think it might have been over $1 billion, actually. This was dollars. That's been a long time earner for them. But then there were games like what's it called? It's not Aeon, but it's like Aeon.
It's Trove? No, not Trove.
No, it ain't Trove. It's an NC Soft. There's Blade and Soul.
No,
Blade and Soul. That's a Tryon game as well. That wasn't very good. Blade and Soul, I think, is one.
These.
But I don't get like how they, like, in their projected revenue was like hundreds of millions, and they're just like mediocre, run of the mill, like Korean MMOs. And then on this list there was WildStar. Remember that game?
Yeah, I mean, WildStar was actually pretty good when we started playing it, but then it didn't really. It didn't grab me personally. It was just like, it's all right, and then that was it.
Yeah, it was very polished, wasn't it? It felt polished. It felt quite playable. But me and you only played it for a brief amount of time.
Yeah.
It had massive server problems. Like, you couldn't connect to the server for days and shit like that, because they had this mega server thing they were trying to push, where like everyone's on one server and all this bollocks.
Because that was one of the big things, wasn't it? It was like, everything, you'd be able to see everyone and do anything. It's all on one server, and loading times would be fine and all this kind of thing, and then it never really happened.
Yeah, so that suffered from that, but also the game, they heavily marketed towards hardcore players. Now, I'm told that the raid that was in this game at the start was amazing. Like, if you were somebody who wanted an absolutely rock hard experience, this was just amazing. It was like a 48 man? It might have been a 48 man raid.
God. And
so only a couple of people, like guilds, managed to finish this. If that, I think. It was meant to be really good, but that's kind of a problem, isn't it? You can't market your game to ultra hardcore players and then also want the player base of a WoW game. You can't do that. So I think it suffered from that. But that game was in this list, and it was going to earn nothing, like nothing. It's just, that game's going to be shut down. But I couldn't understand, because in my mind, that game is a better game than the other games. But I guess it's because it's not a new game and it's been out for a while, and it's like got no marketing behind it. And Blade and Soul and Black Desert Online, this was another one, and I'm just like, these just look gash. Like, okay, if you guys enjoy these games, that's fine. Elder Scrolls Online was in the list as well. That's not an Asian one, but that was going to earn a ton of cash. I'm like, It's
weird,
not like
isn't
who
it? It's
plays these games. It's like, how are these games functional to a point where they earn money when they are mediocre games?
Yeah, there's nothing massively special. It's just like a copy of the other Like when you look at,
Yeah.
especially all the, or like the.
It's
Like,
almost like me going, Kiri, do you want some Diet Coke, or would you like some Aldi Diet Coke, or would you like some Morrison's Diet Coke? It's just the same. Like,
yeah,
surely you would take the actual Diet Coke above the.
yeah,
But it's like, no, enough people buy that, but it's not like they're cheaper. They're all the same fucking price in this crazy world.
yeah. It's crazy. I've never understood how. In a way, I've never understood how the MMO market works anymore since WoW. Frankly, it's like because stuff appears, and it won't be anything different to what you had before, and people will flock to it, and then they'll play it, and then within like a year and a half, it's dead. But then there's another one in that time, and people will go over to that, and then it's like that dies, or decreases in popularity, but then another one's appeared, and I just kind of sit there going, why? Firstly, who is playing every MMO on the planet? Like, who is sitting there going, a new MMO, I'll play that. Who's doing that? Why would you not stick with the one that you're familiar with and the one that you know and the one that has got the huge population, all that stuff? And secondly, after you've done that maybe 4 times and every single one of them is either gone free to play or shut down because they don't make any money, why do you then go on to the next one? Is it different people? Is there like a mysterious kind of influx of MMO only gamers who are desperate to play just one MMO all the time? It's weird. It's just strange.
I've got one last thing to say on this Rift thing, because there's a quote here, and this is just shows you why they're doing what they're doing. You basically have to give them money, else you won't get the items. It says this: ultimately, this is a business decision. To best support Rift moving forward into the future, we're on the cusp right now of Rift's 5th anniversary, and we've got great stuff planned for 2016. But that stuff takes engineers and designers, customer support, quality and assurance, and a whole lot of other folks.
Yeah.
So they're just saying we need to make money, and it doesn't make money.
They need to pay the bills, and at the moment they're paying the bills.
Yeah, so now we're going to just make you pay for an integral aspect of the game.
Yeah.
Which is always bad when a free-to-play game does that, because it's fucked. It's like WildStar. No, not WildStar. We just spoke about that. What was that crazy one where the guy had the buzz made? And it was just like totally shit. It was like an FPS thing. It was an MMO.
Yeah. Oh, damn. I can't remember what it was called. Was it?
Red Studios made it.
Was that the one where it was like all crazy? There was monsters, but there was also guns.
Was it Red?
And there was
you had like a suit, like an exosuit.
Yeah. Oh damn! I cannot remember what that is. I know which one you mean, but I can't remember what it was called at all. They've done a great job.
I know. It's like
completely forgotten what it's even called.
That was a game which was like a disaster show in terms of the way it was like set up and everything, and then they tried to make money back off it, and it's just like a complete disaster. I think one of the old a guy from Blizzard set that studio up or something. Obviously, doesn't know what he's doing because the game capitulated. No. So I just thought it was funny. Like there was just this massive history of MMO games that just capitulate, and yet they still get made. It's like, okay, let's make another one. It's like, oh god, it's like MOBAs, isn't it?
They're so expensive as well. This is the thing. It's like
it's the most expensive genre. It has to be.
Making a video game is really bloody expensive. Making an MMO is insanely expensive compared to that, and yet so many sort of just appear out of nowhere, and it's like, look at the new MMO, and then a year later it's, look at the new MMO that is free to play and is losing subscribers every day, and then in the year after that it's the MMO shut down, but there's been 8 more in that time. Where's the money coming from? Who's paying for this shit?
Well, I mean, NCSoft always have MMOs coming out, but it's clear that they're making tons of money off them. So they just keep recycling them, and it's always the same looking thing. I mean, I don't mean this any disrespect to people that like those style of like Asian, Korean MMOs, but I couldn't tell you the difference between Aeon and Terra or Blade and Soul. They all look exactly the same.
Yeah.
They just look the same. It's like, what happens to these people? Just play it and then leave? I mean, I know Final Fantasy, that the Final Fantasy MMO has done really well. I think that is the second most subscription MMO in the world, beyond WoW. But it's actually quite close to WoW. So that's apparently done very well. But beyond that, I couldn't tell you of a success, really. Or that I would think is a success. But obviously there are successes out there. It's crazy. It's honestly crazy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was something that I need to put in this week for MOBAs as well, because some studio or other has announced a MOBA, but it would just be the same as every other topic where we bring up a new MOBA that's coming out, which is great. No one's going to play it. No one cares. It'll shut down within a year, because that's what always happens with MOBAs.
I'm just going to leave it like this, right? So I've Googled for upcoming MMOs this year, and we've got Supernova, Battlecry, Battle Line Steel Warfare, Black Desert, Chronicles of RuneScape or something, DK Online,
Donkey Kong
Eclipse
Online.
War, Maple Story 2, Otherland. I mean, I don't even know if they're all MMOs or what, but I mean, Jesus Christ. If there's all these MMOs coming out, what is going on?
Is based off a book series that I read once. Yeah, Tad Williams. I don't know how that's going to work.
It's like this Star Trek Online, bloke. Right, that's a shit game. But I've played it, and it's like, it's pretty funny. I haven't spent any money on it.
It's
but
enjoyable,
obviously people
but it's not
do.
Good.
Yeah, it's bad. It's really bad, but people still play it and obviously enjoy the game.
Yeah.
So it makes money. And to me, it just seems crazy that there are these like, I mean, is this just limited to games or what? But like, I mean, video games where you can make a shit game, but it's still okay. Well, I guess you could make a shit film and it would still maybe make some money.
Well, look at all the utter dross that turns up on Steam. Apparently, you can make whatever total recycled garbage you like, and some idiot.
I know, but I'm talking about things that make money, like companies make.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Like, I mean, it must be so disheartening to be like a developer who works for one of these companies and they're just like, right, I'm just gonna make some shit generic MMO again. Oh, for fuck's sake, go off and make it. Like, you're not doing anything.
Well, like the 18 we've already made, game. Boss. Yeah, exactly like that. Oh, fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, and he just walks out with a cigar,
and then he leaves and starts his own studio and does a Kickstarter that fails.
But
Smedley
somehow miraculously has the funding anyway.
Yeah, magical. Anyway, that has been HotFix for this week. It's also been
glorious,
long, like longer than.
That's it.
Yeah, it's like 2 hours, which is way longer than we usually go for. But it's back. It has returned, hopefully forever. And yeah, it'll be back again next week. Not sure about when we're going to do podcast just yet, because as we've already said, I'm just trying to work out how and when to do stuff at the moment. That will come back as soon as I've worked out a time. Well, when we've worked out a time that we can do it.
Well, I think all you guys will agree HotFix is the main one, so we'll focus on that for now. But yeah, it's not gone. We'll still. Yeah,
it'll come back at some point. Just need to work out when, because things are just a bit up in the air. Don't really know what's happening from day to day, so you just got to find time.
Yeah, it's like Kiri said at the start. He obviously has to go into hospital every day to check out Eve, and because she's so premature, there's a lot of things that could, happen or change. So it's got to be dynamic. It's just the way it is. I mean, hopefully it won't continue for too much longer, and then she'll be back home and it'll be fine. Then we'll get to her crying.
Maybe back
on
to
HotFix.
No, she can go all the way to the end of the house.
I just got this vision of him just lock her away in a room.
Leave her in the garage or something.
Leave her with Bingo. Bingo can look after her.
Oh, God. That's going to be a nightmare.
What's Bingo going to do? You'll have to calm Bingo down and jumping around all crazy.
Well, she's not being left in the room alone with her ever, so it'll be fine.
Yeah.
They say that anyway, you're not supposed to. Because what if your dog goes crazy and goes, I could throw that somewhere? Apparently it happens. It happens.
Oh, my God.
Especially when they cry. Dogs don't like it when they cry, apparently. I doubt Bingo would ever do anything, but yeah, it's going to be interesting trying to work out what to do with her. Christ.
Bingo's soft in the head.
She's mental. She's really sweet and very gentle, but she is mental. She's just clumsy and daft.
And McGee's a sinister user
of drugs.
Yeah.
So
anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's been beautiful.
We'll be back probably next week at some point, and probably Thursday again. And thank you very much for watching. We'll see you then.
Toodaloo, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm going to have to click the stop record button because my keyboard has just stopped working. Literally, it's just gone dark, and pressing hash is doing nothing. So, a delayed end. Bye.
Professional.